the prediction right now from Gallup informally is that Republicans are going to win. And now, look, Lichtman and many others are, Jim Cramer predicted Kamala Harris would win, and everyone started cheering, and yay, reverse Cramer. But we've shown this before. Since 1952, Gallup has tracked the most important issues, polling the individuals, and who they believe, which party, is better on those issues. Every single poll correctly correlated since 1952 with the winning party. Let's just grab a random year. In 1972, moral and ethical decline in the Vietnam War was the biggest issue, and the individuals polled said the Republican Party was better on that issue. Republicans won. We had, let's just grab 2000 is funny because it's not applicable, whatever that means. Let's go 04. Iraq War and the economy. They believed that Republicans were better on the issue. Republicans had the advantage. Republicans won. In 2012, the economy was an issue, and the Democrats had the advantage. The Democrats won.
Right.
Today, in 2024, the economy and immigration is the number 1 and 2 issues. The advantage is currently held by 5 points for the Republican Party, and the winning party is to be determined. Now, look, even in 2020, COVID-19 was the big issue, and voters said that Democrats had the advantage. I think that makes a lot of sense. But we'll see if that plays out in, what are we looking at? 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I mean, it's wild.
3 weeks. Can you believe it?
I saw her today, Kamala.
No bread though.
And she was talking about her new being tough on the border.
It's a
stuff after and that, the housing crisis. It's like, yo, you created the housing crisis. Like, I mean, you have to be on drugs to believe anything that comes out of that woman's mouth at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you have to opt into a level of disbelief. Right? You have to really believe that Trump is terrible, and therefore you're willing to accept the lies, because you have to essentially turn off your brains to not question at least a quarter of what she says.
Right.
We got this tweet from the Omniliberal Destiny. For those that aren't familiar, he is a leftist liberal commentator. And he tweeted, if Kamala ends up winning, the entire far left, the commies, the tankies, the Hamas supporters need to be effing jettisoned from the party. We don't need them to win elections. We can turn out our own base, and they are an absolute effing cancer to be associated with. And, well, he's correct. I wouldn't use the language he uses, but the Democratic Party has lost so many of their more moderate members. I mean, again, 2019, I supported Tulsi. I was ready to vote Democrat. I said, let's go, baby. And they chose to go far left woke psychopath. So I'm out.
He is so stupid because that's what the Democrats are now. There are no more moderate Democrats. He's not a moderate Democrat. He's an idiot. And if you look at how many Democrats that were moderate Democrats that consider themselves moderate Democrats, they've all left the Democrat Party because the Democrats have doubled down on racism. They've doubled down on identity politics. They've doubled down on all the things that normal Americans are rejecting. You've got the major names in the Democrat Party now are all they're all pro-Hamas and they're anti-Israel. Like you see the Squad, they're the ones that dictate the sentiment.
Well, but AOC is going more Israel, isn't she?
Well, I don't know if AOC
She's
is
falling in line.
She might be. I could be wrong about AOC.
And then 2 of the Squad members got to boot.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. But that sentiment is the majority sentiment. You got people like Destiny doesn't get to walk out here and act like that he's not in the same boat as Hassan Piker. And Hassan is clearly anti-Israel, pro-Hamas. That's all of BreadTube is they've all got their start because of Destiny. He is the exact reason why the left is the way it is now. He is the absolute reason.
Sure,
that it's happening.
And he's right. The Democrats only stand a chance if they get rid of the extremists in their party and try and become more moderate. So how about the Democratic Party and its institution and the people running it today are gone, and then it's Tulsi Gabbard who takes it back over, and then you effectively get 2 more moderate parties with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in actual agreements and arguments the way they used to be, instead of this crackpot, tanky, communist garbage that they currently represent now.
It's interesting hearing pollsters talk about this because they'll refer to the election as fairly stable because things are so polarized. It's very difficult for people to sway each other's voters because people are so divided.
This is what we've talked about before, though, is to get normal Democrats to come back to being normal Democrats, like people like Tulsi Gabbard, people like Kennedy, and having the ability to actually converse with people that have a different opinion, but stop treating people that you disagree with like they're evil and blah blah blah. And Destiny himself is absolutely terrible about talking to anyone that supports Trump. He doesn't get to say things like that and act like he's not calling for violence against Trump.
They've all gotten worse because we've had Destiny on the show before, and I remember we played poker with him. We got along swimmingly. We actually agreed on most things, and then I don't see him as grifting. We were playing poker, and he criticized Trump, and we had those debates, same as we would have him on the show. But as of late, he and like Kyle Kalinske and Crystal Ball, for example,
idiots.
They all went off their off their rocker,
calling for violence. All of them have called for violence. Like Destiny himself has said.
Kyle Kalinske has called for violence.
Actually, no, I can't say for sure if Kyle's done it.
But
Destiny has definitely said, "Oh, I can't wait. I want to see all the Trump supporters get killed." He's talking about right after Trump was the assassination attempt. He was saying it's good that what's his name got killed.
And he was saying, "I'll buy you a front row ticket for the next."
Yeah, this kid is garbage, and he's saying things like that. It's so ridiculous coming out of his stupid mouth.
So you're a huge fan of him? You like him?
He's a
Tell us how you really feel.
I hate the kid. He's a garbage kid.
Well, he's like 30 something, so
he acts like a child. So, and I'm old and I'm.
But what happened to Kyle Kalinske?
He can't identify farms from a plane, so I'm not sure.
He used to be super chill. He had defended Carl Benjamin in the past. I was like, he's a cool guy. We disagree on some things. Now he's just posting like Destiny. Mm-hmm. And Crystal Ball as well.
I feel like they think that that's effective to bring
their
people
views going down or something.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it could be, it could be about their views. But I feel like they think that Trump is winning, and that's why they're posting things like that. I think that they're like, this helps. I don't agree with them, but still.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that they were rational people who have decided to start acting irrationally on purpose, they're grifters.
I'm fine with calling them grifters.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the talk show hosts and all that called
Howard
for
Stern.
like violence against, Trump or Trump supporters, or, I mean, it's crazy what's actually going down, man. I'm like, can you imagine if somebody said to do something against Kamala or whoever, and then it actually happened? What the repercussions would be, like blowback. It's such a double standard. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even to deny RFK, they denied him they denied him Secret Service what do you call it? Protection. Like, why, Joe Biden? Why would you do that?
I mean, initially when he asked for it a year out, they were like, well, we only have to provide I think it's 100 days before the election. But then even when they had hit that more narrow window, they had still not provided it to him. So it went from being like this application of the law or policy into definitely something personal. And I think, especially with the DNC, RFK is an interesting study because you would get this dual-sided fight, right? They would have his family come out and say, we want him to drop out and we all endorse Biden. And then they would also go after him legally in the states. They would try to get him off the ballot. And now that he's gone, they're doing this to Jill Stein. And so they say the corporate press is telling you he's a fringe candidate. He doesn't appeal to anyone. He's crazy, whatever. But secretly, they know that his message is important and is appealing to all kinds of voters. Because if he really wasn't a threat, they wouldn't have spent the money to get him off the ballots legally. And also, they wouldn't have put the pressure on the family to come out publicly against him.
You know what happened to his sister and his niece, right? When he spoke out against the COVID stuff. I mean, it's very.
I know his
suspicious.
family's very hostile.
Well, his
because of the
sister
vaccination.
and his niece when he spoke out against the Biden administration, everything they were doing. I think it was down near Annapolis or somewhere down over there. They went during a nor'easter in a raft without a life jacket and drowned.
In 2021, or
right? Yeah, it was right after all the stuff was going. Look, I mean, if you look it up, when his sister and niece drowned in a nor'easter in a rowboat with no life jackets, and they said that they drowned, that they died. And I'll
check it out. I hadn't heard anything about that. And his mom just died, and I was reading all kinds of stuff about his siblings.
This was going back a few years ago. I don't know.
I mean, his mom Ethel just died, and she's a Democratic darling because she's this human rights advocate. But what I actually found interesting is that he has a brother named Douglas Kennedy. He's one of the younger of that huge set of children. And in the early 2000s, he was involved in this sort of scuffle with some nurses because he had wanted to take his newborn baby outside for some fresh air. And eventually the nurses sued him. It's a really interesting case because rereading it, having lived through the more aggressive hospital policies of the COVID era, it does seem like there is this you must comply with the things that we say mentality even then.
So look at New York City. I remember every night at 7 o'clock, they all got on the fire escapes and they were banging the pots and the pans for the frontline nurses, and they were the heroes, and rightfully so. I mean, and then the minute that they said, nope, we are not going to take that shot, they destroyed their careers.
Well, when the nurses went out and blocked cars and were saying things like, you should be locking down, you shouldn't be driving, and they had these photo opportunities, the media praised it.
Yeah.
When there were doctors and nurses saying, I don't want to be forced to undergo a vaccine mandate, they were attacked as anti-vaxxers.
Exactly.
So it's like they're frontline heroes when they're standing in front of cars in New York City, but that's it. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.